Welcome back to my channel. This is Sandra Ferrari with Real Estate Investing. I am so glad to be back so we could continue our previous conversation where we were talking about due diligence. What else? Because I've been mentioning this word a lot. I don't know if you recall what we discussed the last time, the first three pointers that I provided to you, as well as the definition of due diligence. I hope you remember because along the line, I will repeat it again. But I want you to think about what I talked about the last time and that you were taking notes. That is the teacher in me asking everyone to take notes because without notes, we may not remember. But it's always good to try to recall everything that we have spoken about. Let's dive right in and continue our journey here. Let's build wealth together. Today, I intend to touch upon three more points regarding due diligence. Those are not the fun part. That's what I've been told. I even thought so myself until I realized the importance of knowing and learning about the next three points that I'm going to mention right now. So let's start. The first one we're talking about today is zoning and compliance. Let me tell you, imagine you purchasing a property and you want to rent maybe domestic violent woman. You can't do that because there are places that you can, for instance, purchase a property that has several rooms. You turn a couple of them into bedrooms. You put two beds in this room and turn this extra room into a bedroom and put another two beds. Guess what? It may not be feasible. So that's why you need to confirm all the compliance regarding that area where you're choosing to invest, because that's very important. If you're planning on purchasing a property, turning into more than just a single family where you can have more than one person renting it, it may not be allowed. Please find out what the zoning laws are so you can comply with the local laws and respect all the regulation. And if you need permits, licenses, do look into that. I remember I was looking up in Albany, New York. Oh my God. And there were a couple requirements that were necessary. They kept asking me about certain things that I didn't know what they were. I actually had to call the attorney and ask him, what is this? Tell me. Don't be afraid to ask your attorney, your broker, if a term is new to you. There's no such thing as being ignorant of a fact. It's best to be ignorant and ask and to be ignorant person as well as an idiot person because you can lose money. Please do not lose your shirt. Ask if something they're asking you don't understand, it makes no sense because there's certain items and criteria they may ask that doesn't ring a bell to you. Please find out from a local realtor that you're dealing with what they talking about. That way you're not violating any rules. You don't have to get a ticket or any violations because you have failed to actually comply with the regulation, with the zoning laws, and so on and so forth. We purchased a property in an area where the zoning was changing. Everyone was excited because there were a lot more that can be done. Then it's good to keep abreast of what's going on in the area that you want to purchase. Right now, information are readily available. You could go online, check the county, also call. There's nothing wrong with calling to find out what's going on, right? I would say do both. You can go online, call, and ask your local realtor, even the team that you have built up in the area where you're purchasing the property. Ask them, is there anything new that you should know about? Is there certain things that you should do or should not do? That way you can avoid a lot of headaches. Do make sure that you mind the zoning and regulations in the area that you're going to purchase your property, because that's really relevant. The next key point I want to talk about is market analysis. It may not sound so sexy, but if you understand the current market trend where you want to purchase, you'll know whether or not to actually purchase there. I know sometimes the price is Great. That has happened to me. I went in a place in the Midwest. Everyone was telling me about it. Oh, they have cheap houses. That's good. That's awesome. But what if I'm moving into a market where everyone is moving away or jobs are closing down? Do you think that's that great? No, I don't think so. Who's going to be my tenant? I won't have anyone. And if I have someone, probably they won't be able to pay. I want to make sure that I understand what's going on in that area in terms of job, in terms of what's happening in the market, even do comparables, even if it's not so drastic that people are moving away, you want to know how the area is compared to other areas in the same, perhaps, county. Because sometimes you must do the comparables of property to see what the value is. I try to also go for the appreciation. And I've learned a lesson. Please don't go to places that go and appreciate so fast. And if the market crashes, so does everything else. I like appreciation step by step, slowly. This is true appreciation. So the value of the property, when you do the market analysis in the last 18 months, values of the property went by this percentage, by that percentage. So study the area. Ask your realtor, they will tell you. If they see that you are serious, you really want to purchase properties in the area, ask them this is a concern for you and you really would like to know about that. So don't hesitate to find out a little bit more about the value of the property, how other properties are compared to the one that you're purchasing. Because after all, it is your money and you want to have an income, a solid income. Do your due diligence by looking at the market and see what's happening in that area. It's very important because it will affect your rental income. Also, local knowledge. What I mean by local knowledge is I always try to find out the area that I'm purchasing the property. It may be cheap, may be good. What is it considered? Because when I studied investing, I didn't know what that meant to have an A area, a B area, a C area. So you're going to hear all those words. And I suspected A was better than C. So those were the most expensive areas. But at the same rate, perhaps you can purchase in a C area, not a D area. But nevertheless, I would like to find out a little bit about the neighborhood. Find if you decide to visit the neighborhood, look at it. I've done that when I'm trying to get tax liens. I go drive in the neighborhood, try to talk to people in the neighborhood. I've done that with a group of people. We go down, we try to look at properties discreetly, mind you. We look at the area, the school district zone. Is it an area that people want to move in with their children? Because if you're going into an area that's really family oriented, you need to go in an area that's a good neighborhood, low crime rate, right? All of this is relevant. You want to make sure what is happening in this area. Would people want to actually come in and rent from you if they're unable to purchase their own property, right? So crime rates is important. The school district can impact your cash flow. Because if you purchase it and no one wants to move in, what, how are you going to make your money? Those are relevant factors that you should look into when you're getting that property. Because local knowledge is imperative that you find out a little bit more, ask questions, and don't hesitate. Call the police department, call and find out the crime rate. Because now websites can provide you with information, find out school district, find out what's going on in the area. The same way when I was talking before in the other pointer that I gave you in terms of market trend, find out which big companies there. We do recall when I was purchasing a property in Pittsburgh, I find that there were a couple big companies I wasn't even aware. The same thing with Ohio. I was like, those are five companies. I didn't know they were there. By doing research, I find out that there are a lot of jobs there. I remember Cleveland, when I looked around at Cleveland, I was looking at a couple properties. The healthcare industry, oh my goodness, it is a big hit over there. So people were moving in. I like areas where there are college students. I do. I know things have changed since COVID. We have to point this out. But I thought this would be a major setback, but people are still going. They want to move in. Kids want to move out of the house and go live on campus or places around the school. So it's still feasible to get properties if you're interested in student housing. That's another area that was looking into. So you could put more beds in there, more beds and more money, right? More income, more renter income. That goes without saying. So please don't neglect those 2 pointers that I just mentioned. So those, so far, we have covered 6 pointers. At the end, I will give a test, right? No, I won't do that. But I just want you to be aware of all those tips that I pointed out to you, those aspects that I went through, delved into, described to you so that you know when you're purchasing your property, you're already aware of those factors and you're going to put them not in the back burner, but ensure that you will reap the benefits and your second source of income is going to build wealth. So let's do this. If you like what you see, please don't hesitate to press the like button, share, subscribe, and leave your comments below. If something doesn't make sense to you, you have questions, that's why I'm here. Do put your questions below and I will answer them. So I will see you in the next video. Happy investing.